Most, I'd like to welcome the Amistad to Norwalk. It was here many, many years ago, but we're really pleased to have it back in as we get ready to celebrate our Oyster Festival weekend. So, the Amistad is like a floating classroom. Teaches people about history, and it has quite a storied history as it is. So, it's going to be teaching a lot of our young students here in Norwalk. So I would like to introduce our superintendent of schools, Dr. Alexandra Estrella, to have a few words.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to thank everyone today for joining us in celebrating the arrival of this magnificent replica ship. I want to say a special thank you to Discovery Amistad for working with our scholars this year, and last, to give them a better understanding of the sacrifice and struggle those captured and imprisoned went through to achieve freedom. I also am so excited that our 8th graders will step aboard this ship over the next week so that they can actually see and sense what those 53 Mendon natives must have felt in that real life experience through this Amistad replica and what they experienced almost 180 years ago. Hands-on experiences are like this are embedded in our scholars' learning experiences throughout everything they do. And throughout the next few weeks, they will have the opportunity to experience this first and firsthand in this ship, the Amistad. I also want to thank the Norwalk Harbor Management Commission and the Norwalk Seaport Association for their work in bringing the Amistad replica to our harbor, and for allowing this magnificent opportunity to become a reality, not only for our Norwalk students, but for also the community at large. Again, thank you, and we are really excited of what this is going to bring to life for our scholars. Thank you, Mayor.
And you can see how excited we are here in Norwalk. We have so many Norwalk employees, staff members here to share in this moment. We have our Common Council President, Greg Burnett. We have our Common Council Majority Leader, Darlene Young. We have our Police Department, Police Chief and Deputy Chief, our Harbor Management. We have our Economic and Community Development people, our Parks and Rec people, our DEI persons here hiding someplace. But anyway,
she's not hiding. She's just a little challenged.
But it just shows how excited we are, and how the Oyster Festival is going to go down this year. Hopefully, we get a lot of visitors over here, and I'm sure we will. It gives me a really great pleasure to introduce Ms. Paula Mann Agnew, the Executive Director of Discovering Amistad, for a few words.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. The mayor talks about how excited you all are in Norwalk. We are absolutely excited to bring the ship to you. Thank you so much for inviting us to be here. We're excited because, as the mayor said, this ship it truly is a floating classroom, and it's a platform for us to be able to talk about history and talk about the history and how it relates to us today. Discovering Amistad, when we talk about what we offer and what we will bring to Norwalk, what we bring, of course, is a tall ship. But rather than being a tall ship with a story, we are a story with a tall ship. There's so much that we need to talk about. There's so many lessons that we get from the 53 Men Day. There are lessons about resilience. There's lessons about our history as it relates to groups being trafficked, human trafficking. There's lessons about victory. It's lessons about how people work together. Sometimes I think about Singbe Pierre. He was a young man of color. He was a husband, he was a father. He was being trained to be a leader in his community, and he was kidnapped while at work. One of the things that we like to make sure that we do when we talk about the Amistad story, we talk about it from a human perspective. He was kidnapped at work. And when he was kidnapped, eventually he ended up on a ship that looked very similar to this. This is a recreation of the Amistad Uprising ship. And when on that ship, I can imagine the only thing that he can think of is, how am I going to get back home? How am I going to get back to my family? What am I going to do? And what happened to Singbe Pierre is that all of the training that he received from home, the community invested in him. And he was able to think about a way not only to break free for himself, but for the other 52 Mende. So they fought for their lives on the ship, and they ended up fighting for their freedom in the United States court system. One little brother, one little person was able to change the course of history. So much so that when we think about going all the way to the Supreme Court, we had United States presidents at odds about what this particular case meant. There's so many lessons for us to learn, and thank you so much. Superintendent talked about us trusting us with your children. We're going to have about 800 students that will have an opportunity to experience this, to have this Amistad experience. And for us, so we just want you to understand kind of what we do. We teach about the history. For example, with Sengbei PA, he was able to find a nail on the ship, and he took that nail and he was able to break those chains that bound him. And so what we do with our students is when we tell the story and they get to kind of move around and touch and feel things on the ship, we ask them, you have chains in your life. You have chains in your life. You have things in your life that bound you from reaching up to your potential. What's going to be your nail? Because you can be a leader, just like Sengbei PA. You can make, thank you. You can make change. That you do have the ability to make change in your own community, in your own household. So it's helping students tap into their own leadership. And so we just thank you for the opportunity to bring this tall ship here. We're glad to be back. Mayor, thank you so much for having us back. We want to give a special thank you to Chris McDonald, Bruce Lavallo, of course our mayor, and all the departments that were just mentioned, the fire, park and recs, the police department, and also a special thank you to Gary and Charlie Wetmore, who worked tirelessly to make sure that this event happened. So thank you so much. We will be here until we're open until the 14th. We will have free tours. We'll be here for the Oysterfest. We're real excited. I can't wait. And we ask you to come back and visit us. Thank you so much for having us here in Norwalk.
Thank you, Ms. Agnew. Just listening to what she's saying, these children are going to get such a lesson, and it's experiential because they're going to be on a replica of the original. And they're going to be mesmerized with the stories. I was just mesmerized with the little bit that Ms. Agnew was saying just a few moments ago. So I know the children are in for a really, really wonderful experience. So now it gives me great pleasure to introduce Chris McDonald, City Commissioner for the Norwalk Harbor Management Commission.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Chris?
Thank you. So I represent the Norwalk Harbor Management Commission here. So we're all volunteers. Our chairman, Alan Kibbe's here. And our mission is to improve and bring awareness and to the harbor and this great asset we have in our city. And, we were talking, we asked ourselves, why hasn't the Amistad been here or haven't been here in a long time? And the short answer was, a port fee and 11 feet of water at low tide. So we found very willing partners in the Norwalk Public Schools and Rob Pennington, who did a tremendous amount of work at my level organizing all this, and Dr. Estrella, as well as the Norwalk Seaport Association, who runs the Oyster Festival, and Jerry Toney. And then, so they very generously contributed to the port fee and making this possible. The other issue, which was more in our court as far as 11 feet at low water, means that's why we have a barge here, and the boat's sitting a little bit further out into the dredge channel, and that would not have happened without GNC Marine, Gary and Charlie Wetmore, donating the use of this barge and their time to get it in place, to get everything safe and secure. And so, and they're right over here on our waterfront, part of our vibrant working waterfront that is key to Norwalk, and having the Amistad here as a tall ship, and also having the story of the Amistad told that Paula just expounded on, and having that story told to all of our 8th graders here is just a tremendous thing, and I'm very happy to be part of that. I also want to thank Bob Stowers and the Parks Department for helping us with the use of their facility, and Bruce Lavallo and Owen Lee, the harbor master, assistant harbor master, who did a lot of work, making all this come together. There was a lot of logistics, and it has all come together beautifully on a gorgeous hot day. So thank you, everybody. Mr. Mayor, you're going to take it over from here? Thank you.
Yep, thank you. So as you've heard, something like this doesn't happen by accident. It happens because of the efforts of a lot of people working together to accomplish a common goal. And this is why we have the ship here. And I also want to recognize one of the key players in all of this. He is the president of the Seaport Association, getting ready to celebrate the 42nd anniversary of our beautiful Oyster Festival. We invite everybody to come down, enjoy the wonderful food, look at the wonderful crafts, spend a lot of money, and then when you leave the Oyster Festival, go get something to eat in one of our fine restaurants. But without further ado, I wanted to introduce the president of the Norwalk Seaport Association, Mike Riley. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sherry. He's right, it doesn't happen automatically. These conversations about having this started last November, and we were meeting right up through Christmas to make this happen. A tremendous partnership with everybody involved, but we're very happy that we can continue our partnership, and it goes to what we do, Sheffield Island. We take kids out there, we educate people about their maritime heritage and maritime history in Norwalk, and this is the perfect classroom for all these people to come see, because now this is part of the Oysterfest. This is an attraction where it's open to everybody that buys a ticket at the Oyster Festival can come see the Amistad. And I think that's just fantastic, and it wouldn't have happened with a lot of people without a lot of people's hard work, and being able to put a pier here to make it work was a lot of work by Gary Wetmore and his team. But we're very, very happy. Come see it at the Norwalk Oysterfest at our 45th Oyster Festival. And we're very excited. We have a lot planned and a lot for kids. And this is a perfect thing for people to get educated. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Mike. I tried to read your shirt.
Yeah, that's a few years ago.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe you ought to wear an updated shirt.
At 2 o'clock when we cut the ribbon, it goes.
Okay. So as you can see, we're really excited. I don't know if anybody has any questions. Again, we want to thank all the people, the harbor master, the police department, the Parks and Rec, our fire department, certainly Gary Wetmore, who is a retired police officer, and all the people that made this happen. So if there are any questions, I probably can't answer them, but I'm sure Miss Agnew or somebody else can.
Just when are the 8th grade field trips going to be happening?
I'm sorry?
When are the 8th grade field trips going to be happening?
They're starting tomorrow.
Yes. So they'll be starting, and they'll be coming all until you're here until the 14th, I think she said. Yeah. And I guess it'll be the 8th graders, and there'll be several hundred 8th graders coming through.
8th graders coming through.
Yeah.
The students have been learning about the students have been learning about Amistad for a few months now. So this is the culmination of their learning experience, where they can bring to life what they've learned in the classroom in this wonderful ship.
And with the heat wave that we're kind of facing right now for the students coming tomorrow, what are the steps to mitigate the risk of the heat?
So we've been telling them to dress lightly, to drink lots of water. We've been encouraging them to bring water bottles, and if they don't have, we'll have water available to them for them to drink if necessary.
Nice harbor breeze right here.
And
There's a nice canopy here for some shade.
Oh, is that a hawk?
that's good.
Or no? Any other questions? Well, again, thank you all for being here, and we're looking forward to an exciting week. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone.